guys, it's your Uncle Love Game here. We're gonna be doing some Dark Souls. No, I'm sorry, I can never be Skidonic. Anyways, this is me Love Game, or PD1 Piranha if you prefer. Back with more Let's Play Dark Souls, and this time we have to purchase a lovely piece of treasure from this blacksmith here. Why does he have it? I have no idea.
Why does anybody have anything?
So, you don't have to do this right now, but it's a good thing to go ahead and get it out of the way. Yeah, I don't want to see that either. Yeah, let's go ahead and read about that, actually. Is it in the key items, I believe? Yes. I say before I actually see it. Okay. This crest opens a door in the Darkroot Gardens, sealed by an ancient magic. The door leads to the grave of Sir Artorias, the Abyss Walker. Many adventurers have left for the grave, but none have returned, for they make easy prey for the local bandits. With such dangers, the crest can do more harm than good in the hands of the uninitiated. Thankfully, we are quite initiated. We are wearing the Tarkus armor, in memoriam of our lovely fallen comrade.
Then he did kill Ornstein and Smo, the king's executioners.
Indeed.
But then again, those were PvE enemies, and this is a PvP area we're coming up against.
Oh yeah, this part is so fucking hard if you play this game when there's like actual online activity, because holy shit.
It's one of the most heavily trafficked areas for PvP combat.
Yeah, and double invasions are incredibly common here as well, so expect that fully. It's pretty cray-cray. And as such, we're going to make a beeline for it.
It's the only line you can make for it.
Oh yes, although there are no bees in this game, I don't think. Are there any, like, insect-type enemies in Dark Souls? I guess there's those mushroom bugs from 2 and 3.
Yeah, then there's all those flies in 3.
Oh yeah, holy shit. They're flies!
I don't like a lot of the Souls games, or even a lot of Dark Souls 3, but I admit, aside from the fucking flies, that was actually the one DLC I do like from Dark Souls 3. That's a good DLC, I agree with that.
So what was your overall opinion on the second DLC of what you've played so far, anyways?
I really don't like the fucking, like gimmick of it being, like, so, like, the autonomous clues and stuff like that, where it's like, oh, you just have to know to, like, about these guys and stuff, otherwise you're just gonna end up ganked and stuff.
So there's some interesting human enemies here. Not gonna fight them though. Well, they do want to snipe the fuck out of us MLGs, so we're not gonna let that happen. We are instead going to speak to a cat, because that's what we do in these games.
At least with this area, it's not so much bullshit where you can't actually just run past everything, and eventually you'll get around to it. But with the other fucking areas, like Dark Souls 3, with like the fucking ghost that constantly shoots because of the giant that keeps summoning them and everything else, with the angels constantly shooting bullshit at you. It's just a fucking mess. The only way you could possibly have known anything is if you just eventually make it to the other side of things.
Also, there's mushrooms here. They sure are a thing.
I can't remember like the mushrooms from like the Disney's Fantasia.
They're all walking towards something. I'm not sure what, though. Whomst knows?
Despite being little freaking mushroom people, they pack a fucking
Oh
punch.
yeah, they hit hard. Trust me. And they have like a bajillion poise, so be ready for that. I'm gonna go ahead and pop, and get rid of these 2 items.
But from what I've heard, it's actually a good place to like farm. I can't remember which, but it's a good place to farm something.
Yeah, something. I can't remember what, but he is potentially right about
was
that.
it a moss? Was it? No, it wasn't. It was a moss. It was a some type of No. I think it was like. I think it was a buff item. I think.
I think so. Yeah. Now this area, I will warn you fully, that you are free to do this after the DLC if you want a special cutscene. It does not affect the gameplay, but
That
if
is
you...
the one good thing I'll say. Good thing I actually appreciate the Souls team for actually making the DLC. So they add this like one little detail in the DLC where you can summon Sif, and they actually put in the effort to add in that extra cutscene. So like if you did do it, you actually get something special for your efforts. It's the same boss fight, but still.
It's the thought that counts, you know? It's nice, it's very detailed in that regard. You must face big old wolf. I'll admit, well, I do like this boss. It's one of my more favorites in the game. I don't like it as much as most people, I guess you could say.
A lot of people say this is an emotional boss fight, but in my opinion, I think the only reason they say it is due to the fact that
I think they could have done better in the design, because when you think about it, it's just a giant photorealistic wolf. It doesn't really have a lot of extra character to it. Like, if they would have given it more of a unique design, I guess I would have liked that better. That hits through shields, by the way, so watch out for that
So
spin.
why are you blocking that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I thought I had enough stamina for that, but I clearly do not. And I missed right there. Let's see. He's not too bad aside from that move, because you can get in his legs if he gets close enough to you and just kind of lure him into doing that.
Locked on and he does
Yeah.
the camera becomes fucked.
He can. It can, yes, that's very true. It's kind of like the Royal Rat Authority boss from Dark Souls 2 in that regard. You just have to back up from that attack,
Yeah, I
really.
will
It's
say
like
though,
your
even
main...
with like the Rat Authority, and you can say like this boss doesn't have that much character. This boss definitely is more memorable.
Oh
just
yeah,
based
definitely. It has nice music too. I'm one of my favorite.
The Royal Rat Authority
themes.
is just a giant rat, and it's not very memorable. Just due to the fact it's basically an undead.
It's just optional. Yeah, it's not really anything to do with
and
the
it's also
story.
an undead dragon. Not to mention the presentation of it is.
You get almost nothing for it. There's no real reward. It's just kind of, oh, you get this covenant, and that's about it. That you can just get from getting
Not
the
to
Royal
mention
Rat
there's actual
Vanguard.
lore connected to this boss, and the fact there's actual presentation to this boss as opposed to like the Royal Rat Authority, just like
Yeah, it just kind of comes out of nowhere.
And
I think the Royal Rat Authority is more bullshit because it has like it has minions basically. It has like these extra rats.
If you kill them fast enough, it's easier for ranged characters and stuff like that. But in my opinion, they're no problem. What is bullshit is just the fact that sometimes he can't hit you no matter what you do. So
And he does so much like poise damage too. Even if you have like an amazing shield and like good armor and all that, he'll still probably hit you for.
In terms of bullshit between this boss and the Royal Rat Authority, I'd say they're equalish. I'd say.
Yeah. It depends on like your approach and your build and everything.
But it's the same amount either way.
And now he is limping, as you can see. He is quite hurt.
That is one other thing that is what makes it more like a Monster Hunter boss fight, like a thing where they actually provide more character for this boss, which is something you'll never see in any other bosses.
Yeah.
I think
it has that kind of Monster Hunter effect where it has like the limp, yeah, when it gets on the low health.
I think the only reason people say this is an emotional boss fight, besides the limp and the fact they played the DLC and basically discovered they're like, oh, it's Sith pups, is the reason they say it's an emotional boss
It's
fight.
the fact that he's an animal. He's not a big, giant, grotesque demon or giant knight guy. No, he's an animal, and you feel bad about killing a creature, you know, that probably has the same feelings as your dog or your cat or whatever.
Is a giant dog with a giant sword trying to kill me in Dark Souls? I don't care.
Yeah, sometimes you have to prioritize your emotions.
Besides, I felt more emotion when I thought I killed Gavlan.
Yeah. Or when you had to,
or where...
whenever Ostrava would die and then, like, invade you as a red phantom seconds later and you had to kill him. Yeah.
Or when you have to fight Solaire, or in the second game where you have to fight,
Lucatiel's brother. Yeah. But yeah, if you wanna break the game even further, this is your one-stop shop for the Hornet Ring. This will increase the damage of backstabs, I believe, 30%, which will be usually a one-shot kill on almost anything, except for the stuff with like the incredibly high armor rating or whatever you want to call it, defense. But yeah, that breaks the fuck out of PvP. It's crazy how good that ring is. Holy shit. Every PvP build uses that thing, too.
That backstep hitbox, man.
Oh, yeah, especially in this game compared to 2
The
and
only
3.
thing more like overpowered than the backstab is honestly magic user, because a lot of people don't have magic defense, and if you leveled up magic all the way and got like max spells and stuff, and got like the best equipment, you could like destroy people in 1 or 2 hits.
So I don't know about you guys, but I'm wondering what Sigmaier's up to. And I feel like he might be down below in the depths of the land. I don't know about you guys, but that is my assumption right about now.
Beloved game, why would he be down there in the depths of the land?
Because he said he was heading down below shortly. Couldn't do his accent quite right, but yes, he said he was going...
That's such a freaking ambiguous clue right there.
Yeah, I didn't figure this out either without... I think my girlfriend helped me out on this, actually. I can't remember what led me to figure this out, but if you want to continue his questline, you have to backtrack to Blighttown. You can't do it before Anor Londo, so... Once again, I will be showing the amazing... You know, because Dark Souls 2 was so bad, it had that fast travel system... I'm going to be going through this room again, because this is what's so good about this game, is you get to go through this room about 6 times. I'll be showing this off once again for you guys. Did you like it?
It's not a bad room, it's just very...
It's so fucking big, yeah.
It's just very empty. Like, for
No, it's not bad at all. That's the thing about it. It's so big, and like, anything that's bigger is usually better, so...
For the purposes of the boss fight, it served its purpose. It's just as an actual, like, room, it's, The other thing is, like...
Imagine how much worse this game would be if you could, fast travel to the bonfire right outside of here. Like, imagine that, like, you could do that. Like, this game would be probably one of the worst games of all time, actually, if you could do that. So I'm so glad they didn't allow you to fast travel to the bonfire over here. Because, looking at that room is probably the best part of this game, if you ask me. I think... I had a lot of fun with that. So we're going to go back into here and look for our old friend. I believe he is on the far side of the land. Sarcasm mode over.
That's one thing I will agree on. Like, at least because you can say that about the other boss rooms, but the problem is you never go through them ever again. Cause you
yes, even when you have fast travel in this game, you have to backtrack through that room a total of like... If you're doing all the optional stuff, like 5 or 6 times, so... And everyone says this game is so much better because it doesn't have fast travel for the first part of the game, so... I don't know. I don't feel enriched by having to do stuff like that, so it doesn't really do anything for me. Make sure I have the proper
it depends on, like, how the fast travel is handled, so I do agree that for no fast travel at the beginning, it does give a certain feeling of, oh, you have to manually walk it first, then eventually you do get fast travel, so it's more convenient, but it feels like you actually earned the ability to fast travel due to the fact you fought a boss to actually get to it. But yeah, that's more of like a game design.
To be fair, I'm not gonna trash it too much. What I totally, you know, made fun of there a minute ago is what I like to call an egregious example. There's not that many other instances where you have to do that. It's mostly just that one time and a few other minor instances. I just hate the fact that you have to do that every time when you could just travel to the bonfire back there. That would make it
I think the
much
reasoning
easier.
or attempted reasoning was that some bonfires have the ability to be linked together or not.
That could make sense, yeah.
And
I
it
could
does
buy
sort of
that.
make sense for the reason for that bonfire inside the boss room to be linked to other flames instead of just some random bonfire in just in some random sewer that was probably built because people were desperate.
And Sigmaier is such a badass that he actually sleeps in the swamp. I mean, I personally rap in my sleep, so I'm a little bit cooler than him, but he's almost as cool as me.
You see, I'm actually in a bit of a fix. I've made it this far, but I'm short on antidote moss for the trip back. By my knighthood, I'm ashamed to ask, but can you spare a few scraps of moss?
You know, just because you asked nicely, I'll go ahead and give you... You need 3 pieces of moss for him, by the way, as the number.
Knight of Katarina expresses his deepest gratitude. I shall not forget this. Please, take this, a symbol of my appreciation.
And you get his shield, which can be used to poke with. It's kind of an interesting
Despite
shield.
the fact he gives his shield, he
Still has it. Yeah, he has
so he just had
copies
like
of
an
it.
extra shield pair lying around his armor.
Yeah. So, while we're down here, you know, as Hollows, I feel we owe it to the game to adventure into a land with the name Hollow in it, you know? I feel like that is our obligation. Who would we be if we didn't do that?
People who didn't enter Hollows, despite the fact our name being Hollows, which has nothing to do with hollow things.
Either that or people that didn't know an incredibly cryptic series of hidden walls, I would have to guess. So you go here, right? You find a plank shield, whatever. If you're incredibly clairvoyant, you might smack the wall. You might think, oh cool, a chest. What's it got? Oh, 20 humanities. That's a better reward than a plank. I'll just go back. Nah. Let's hit the wall again. Yeah, behind two very cryptic hidden walls is a totally new area called the Great Hollow.
I kind of don't know how to feel about this, because this isn't a mandatory part of the game. It's a little extra...
Oh yeah, it's totally optional.
It does kind of make sense for the Great Hollow to have, like, hidden walls and stuff, since it goes with, like, oh, it's just a giant hollow tree, and actually have, like, fake walls and stuff. So I don't know. Like, I can understand, like, how could you possibly have known that, but it feels more like it's just something you could have explored, maybe, checked out the dead ends or something.
Yeah. This place is a little weird to navigate. A lot of, kind of leaps of faith you have to make, so just kind of bear with me here as I find my way down. You can, in fact, go here before you get the Lord Vessel. Don't do that. It is very hard to get back up if you do that, so
Meaning
wait until you can fast travel.
You can get back up, but the problem is, it's such a pain in the ass to do it.
I do not know how to do it, actually. I've never figured it out, so... There's a way... I've seen, like, videos of it before, so I know it's possible, but it's one of those cryptic things compared to a lot of other stuff in the game. So, yeah, if you can help it at all, just, avoid doing so entirely, and you will be a winner at Dark Souls. That's how you beat the game. But a lot of kind of twisting paths down here. It's just one big giant tree.
Not to mention there's a bunch of crystal bugs everywhere.
Oh yeah, they're kind of hard to get to.
You can get them if you just like stay at that area, then reload the game, and then they're appear right next to you. If you're quick enough, you just smack them. So you get a whole bunch of different stuff.
Ores and stuff. Yeah. So if you're looking for upgrades, well, this is your place to go. If and you ask me.
As much as I bitch and criticize the Soul series and everything, I will say that it is just sort of an interesting case of level design.
And down here we have some more cursed images, so if you don't want to get cursed, don't look at these. These image files are incredibly cursed. We have pictures like, for example, a bike, a motorcycle taking a nap, that's very cursed. We have a shark with legs, that's also cursed. So if you want to stay uncursed, just shield your eyes from that. In fact, we can probably shield our own eyes right about now. Let's put this on. Only blue outfits protect from cursed images, so don't wear the red one. Just blue.
If you want to know how to get the blue one, well, that's just very easy. All you gotta do is
turn your Dark Souls cartridge upside down and put it in your N64.
Yeah, then you gotta play it in reverse.
Yes. Yeah, you have to literally play the whole game in reverse. Speaking of, you guys might not know this, but I have kind of a mild fascination with reversed sound and video.
Oh, he finds that shit hilarious, man. He will...
And I had this theory for the longest time that the mages, I said it in the LP earlier, the channelers in this game do in fact speak in reverse. And well, I found a reversed audio of those channelers, and I was right. They actually take a line from Demon Souls and reverse it to create their spells. It is the line from Lord Ridiel that says, "Retrieve an article from my corpse." They reversed that line. That's how they got the line for Demon Souls, or Dark Souls 1. Yeah.
It's so weird how the more I find about this game, the more I find it amazing, but at the same time, lose respect for it.
Yeah, they reversed the line of retrieve an article from my corpse.
Besides the fucking Wyverns taking the dragon's soundbite from the direct Demon Souls, that is the laziest thing I've heard in the fucking...
Yeah, what do you call it? In Monster Hunter World, some of the enemies have the Demon Souls dragon soundbite.
You just made that up.
I'm dead serious. They have the exact same sound file. I forget which one it is. I think it's the one of the like
You're gonna have to
generic
show
ones.
me
Oh
that.
yeah, I definitely will.
Because I don't believe you.
Yeah, it's I think it's one of the, what do you call it? Like one of those like smaller wyverns, not one of the bosses, but it is the same sound
So
file.
like it's one of those like flying ones. That
Yeah,
just-
one of those
that-
little
that-
guys that can occasionally attack you. Yeah. Not a lot of damage I'm doing to these guys, as you can see. These are the mushroom parents. A little bit tougher than children. By a little bit, I mean they can probably kill you in one hit.
See that blow in the hand? That's from punching bitches all day.
Oh, yeah.
He's about to punch some more bitches.
Oh, come on. But yes, another step to getting this outfit, you have to find the Mew under the truck. If you don't find that, you probably won't get this outfit, so, find
Yeah,
the Mew
it-
under
it-
the truck, and
it
then
probably
get
helps
the,
to have a Master Ball to actually catch the Mew in the first
Yes.
place. Otherwise, it's gonna be a...
and then don't forget to get the Golden Warthog, another incredibly important step. And then you can see Samus naked in the game, and Lara Croft too.
I'm gonna need some sources on that, because I don't...
Look at that damage! Holy shit!
Yeah, dude. He practiced on Pornhub and Street Fighter.
Yeah, at the same time actually.
Can they suffer fall damage, or is that just...
Minor fall damage, not a whole lot.
Okay.
Let's see if the exit's clear. I'm just gonna go ahead and go because these guys aren't even worth the time right now. That's right. I'm not killing. I'm not getting away from them because I'm scared. I'm actually getting away from them because they're just not worth my time.
Well, I mean, it's just tedious to deal
I'm
with.
just like
A lot of the times in these games, it's just better just to run away from things just because you just can't deal with them.
It's kind of like Lao Shanlong from Monster Hunter, that big dragon that doesn't even pay attention to you when you're fighting it because it's just like it doesn't consider you even worth the time. So we have arrived, ladies and gentlemen, at the Ashen Lake. The very lowest point of the Dark Souls world.
Design-wise, the most interesting, it ties in very well to Demon Souls. if
Oh,
you think
yes.
About it.
Yes, it does.
And if you saw that to like the left of the screen as he was passing by, you see another Hydra. And according to most people, that's supposed to be the harder one.
But the terrain makes it a bit easier to fight.
So overall, it's just a tougher one to take down, but it's just easier just to deal with. Because unlike in like the one in Darkroot Basin, you have to, it fucking sees you a miles away and it constantly shoots water projectiles all
And it
around.
has enemies in front of it too, so that kind of hurts you.
Here, it's right next to you, and you can pretty much go right up to the beaches and just...
You can see its full body here too. It's kind of a shell, kind of a crab body almost.
I still say the best Kraken boss fight in video games actually comes from Disney's Hercules PS1 game.
Oh yeah. What about the Kraken drink, the rum?
It's decent. I'm not the biggest fan. I like the glass though. That's awesome.
Remember when you tried it by itself and it was like you couldn't stand it?
This didn't taste much bad. It's like the one time you give me the fucking beer that tasted like ass.
Yeah, he thought Sam Adams beer tasted like literal ass, like
Like
actual
it wasn't like just like Sam Adams regular. Like Sam Adams something else.
Cold Snap, I think it was. Yeah.
He and I have very different tastes in beers. My personal favorite is Angry
Oh
Orchard.
shit.
He likes more like bitter beer.
It depends on what kind. Yeah, I enjoy certain kinds that are more on the bitter side of things. But it depends on what we're talking. I mean, I like what they call IPAs very often. It's one of my favorite types of cerveza, as they call it in the Spanish-speaking territories. One I've taken a liking to recently is the Wild Hawk IPA. Kind of has a tarantula hawk wasp on the can of it. Interestingly enough. Or is it? No, it's called Wild Acre Tarantula Hawk. Excuse me. For a second. Very good stuff, though.
Sorry for not commenting on the Hydra balls, but
it's kind of the same thing as last time. Yeah. I have it about down to half health here, so it's not too bad.
I think the most overhyped Hydra boss, I think, in a video game actually comes from Okame, where you have to basically fight Orochi and anything more.
I like the one from Kid Icarus Uprising, Heads of the U-Draw. Kind of a cool fight.
Well, in Okami, you basically fight Orochi 2 times. Once in, like, the first part of the game, the second time in, like, the past. But, like, oh, dude, it's gonna be, like, harder than before because it's, like, Orochi before he, like, lost his power. But it's the same damn boss fight.
Kind of like DSP before he supposedly lost his gaming powers. It was just as bad before that.
Powers.
Yeah, he claims he lost his gaming powers.
Wait, that's his excuse?
Well, okay. So DSP back in the day had this, like, actual sort of film, quote-unquote, project called Project 7. And it was this sort of, like, it was the closest thing he's ever done to something professional, and it was like this comedy skit he did with his friends. And the whole thing was like he was supposed to play Final Fantasy VII, which was like, oh, it's so overrated, so it's so bad. But like, he did like this big sketch where like he had his controller held upside down. He was like, oh, I lost my gaming powers, guys. And then he canceled the project, even though it got funded by Patreon, so that happened.
And here's how you know you're at the end of the world. This place got crabs. Not just any crabs.
Why is there smoking from the oven? Oh, that's not smoke. It's steam. Steam from the steamed clams we're having. Mmm, steamed clams.
God damn it, of course you know that meme. The sad part about that meme is it's actually becoming good because people are actually putting effort into it.
There was even a Dark Souls version where it was like, life gems or something like that. And you call these life gems, despite the fact that they are obviously from Dark Souls 2. Oh shit. There's a lot of these things in the later area, the Crystal Caves. We'll be seeing them later.
They're a pain in the ass in that area because they're right
they
before
swarm you and there's a lot of them, yeah.
And it's right before the boss. And a thing that can happen is that if you are turning the boss the first time, they can follow you in.
Oh yeah, they can.
And they can fight you alongside with the boss, which becomes like freaking incredibly tedious.
Don't forget to check their bodies, though. They don't have a glowing glowy, but they do have a certain twinkling titanite sometime. There's an amazing item over here, though, that you don't want to miss. I will show that off when I get to it. Very well hidden, too. One of the most hard to find items in the game if you're not vigilant about it. But yeah, it's just kind of this, there's all the arch trees holding up the world, and so far down below, but further down than man was ever meant to explore.
Should we go over our Dark Souls, Demon Souls theory?
Actually, yes, I wanted to talk about that. You can go ahead and
since I
give your side of it,
since I'm the one who came up with like the basis of it, it comes off more of sort of the character stories that we sort of made up while playing Demon Souls. And that was since, like, the old one is supposed to be this great tree, or has some link to this great tree that was awakened due to the fact people wanted power, and therefore magic comes directly from him. So what my theory was that after, basically, my character learned the truth of the world, basically, all the whole struggle to keep the mist contained and everything, all that. It was just to appease this old one. So finally, when eventually it would happen again, the old one basically released mist into the world and turned everyone into demons. He didn't come in time to stop it, and he just like, no, screw this, I'm not dealing with this again. And because this time there was no hero or anyone to finally appease the old one. There was no like, I forget what they're called, like ancients or something. Like there was a group of people that the first time that happened, it stopped it, but now, like, the old one basically consumed the world into, like, an entire fog, and so...
The monumentals is what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, monumentals. So basically, there became more powerful demons, where basically there became so many dragons, since apparently dragons were demons and demon souls.
They were, yes.
And because of the fact that the fog basically consumed everything in the world, basically time has stopped, life has stopped, but the problem was, because of the fact that the old one relied on souls, it couldn't really continue on further. So the old one, which was essentially just a giant tree, fell down and crashed into the world, and then just started become the first flame, and just blew into a giant ball of fire.
If you drop down here, you will get the lovely Great Magic Barrier, an amazing miracle for this game. If you have the ability to use it, I would highly suggest attuning that thing, because magic will hit very hard in this game, so...
I can confirm.
A certain bullshit boss coming up will be made a lot easier thanks to that miracle. I will show that when I come to it. Anyways, continue on with what you were saying. I just wanted to show that off.
So, yeah, so basically that's how I basically connect the Demon Souls to the Dark Souls lore, is that really the old flame is really just the old one from Demon Souls who just transformed himself and gave, like, more of his power.
A fragment of his power was left over in the old flame. Hence the demons coming back when it tried to be recreated by the old witch.
And since pretty much all the humans were practically dead due to the fact they lost all their souls and stuff, he just basically gave it back, only in terms of like the small flame. And that's also the reason why is revealed in Dark Souls 3 why what happens when you just let the flame die. Well, that's because the old ones can't be killed so easily. So when one flame dies, several others that across the dark arc will just light up and they'll just come together to create another flame again. Just continue on the cycle of...
Which is why in Dark Souls 2, even if you have a different ending, the cycle is kind of inevitable to continue.
Dark Souls 2, the story behind it, or at least the philosophy as it tried to divulge into it, more specifically the Skull of the First Sin tried to do, was more to like discuss like the philosophy of the cycles and how could you stop it, or what was the matter of choice and stuff like that.
And the goal was to get outside of the cycle of fate, just like Cain did to Raziel in Legacy of Kain. A lot of parallels between those two series, if you think about it.
Oh yeah, especially in Dark Souls 2, there's a whole lot of like parallels in like the beginning of that game.
So now we have reached an interesting being here. One of the final surviving stone dragons.
Is he stone or is he made of wood?
He's one of the old stone dragons from the intro. He survives to this day. One of, I believe, only 4 or 5 in the whole series, really. Most of which are bosses, but he's a very nice, considerate guy. We can go ahead and get his tail. Get a dragon greatsword.
Will he attack if you just keep hitting him?
Oh no, he never attacks you. He has unused attack animations, but he never actually uses them. So if you want, you can enter his covenant. It is another PvP covenant that instead of like humanity will give you dragon-based items. You can turn your head into a dragon or turn your body into a dragon vaguely shaped being. But kind of a weird secret covenant down here you can join. So yeah, there it is. If you do PvP, you can get certain dragon skills and trade them in for more of those items that I just talked about. So if that fits your fancy, well, go right ahead. I'm not going to do it, though, because I want to stay in the Sun Covenant for right now.
Yeah, it's basically a covenant that worshipped dragons, essentially.
Indeed, it is called the Path of the Dragon, specifically. But yeah, interesting little side area. Incredibly secretive and hidden from the rest of the world that we got to explore this time.
And it's actually necessary for you to travel down here in order to continue Siegmeyer's story.
Yeah, later on it is, but not right now. I have to go, to keep on...
Oh yeah, it's for later on, especially
trucking.
an important item for.
Yeah, it's right after Lost Izalith. Actually, that's the next step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The most broken part of the game.
Which we will be traversing next time on Let's Play Dark Souls, because this time we're going to call it quits and take a nice deserved rest. And that being said, this is Love Game, and
Genius at work.
we are signing off for tonight.